Hey guys, BuildZoid here, and today we're going to be doing another 30-minute OC challenge. This time I've got the 10, you can see the system specs on screen, so just read that. That's what I'm using. This is the target score. Yeah, let's just get right into it. I have a timer now that you can actually see on screen, so 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, yeah, that worked. Perfect. So we're in the BIOS. The first thing we need to do is get into advanced mode, and I want to take care of the fan control. So we're going to go set everything to full speed, because this is 3Dmark Firestrike overall score, and so the CPU does affect the score. So we are going to set up a quick and dirty CPU overclock. Now, Firestrike is not very difficult to run, so we can probably go for something pretty aggressive. So we're just going to go with something like that. We don't need to worry about that. AVX offset 0. CPU vCore 1.45. Actually, I want that in fixed. We're going to use fixed for this just because, yeah. So vCore calibration, we're going to go high. Now we're just going to max everything out in here. And we're going to go back here, then VCCIO 1.4, 1. Well, yeah, 1.6. I don't particularly care for this. Well, actually, I do care about the CPU a little bit, so we're going to back that off. Actually, 1.4 is fine. We're going to back those two off a bit, but other than that, yeah, we're not going to do... What? No. I wanted to disable that. And then power... Turbo power limits disable, C states disable, all of that. Gigabyte boards are just kind of weird with how many things you can disable and still have working overclocking, so. Anyway, so that's all disabled. Now we're going to do a memory overclock because 3Dmark does scale with memory performance, so we're just going to go to 4133. For memory voltage, I want to run 1.65. 1.65 for Samsung B-die memory is around basically the limit of what you can run without having to set max mem, and I don't really want to spend time setting max mem. Also, this is Firestrike. It doesn't care. Like, it cares a little, but it doesn't care that much. Actually, we should be able to do better than that. We should be able to run like 15, 16, and then 28. 20, 42, 12. I'm going to go 14 there. 4, 6, 4, 4. Actually, we don't need to change those. We're going to go 4, 6, 280, RTP. We're going to leave RTP alone, TFall 16, command rate 2. We are on 32 gigs of memory, so there's just no way it's going to run 1T command rate. Or at least I'd be extremely surprised if it ran 1T command rate, so we're not going to even try to run that. TCK 2. And for these, we have RRDs, and then there, that should work. And then these two down here, which should be 32, 28. That should be very, like, that is probably going to work. And then we're going to leave everything else alone, and I'm just going to create a profile. Nope. We're going to, wait, what BIOS am I on? Oh boy, I'm on some old BIOS. I must have flicked one of the BIOS switches while messing around with the system. Oh well, whatever. We're just going to use this BIOS. Too late. So, I'm just going to call this ASDF. Okay, there we go. Save some time. Like, that should not be difficult to do, even on, like, a early BIOS. And it's not posting. I might need more system agent voltage. Running dual rank at aggressive settings is really hard on the memory controller. Well, I switched it back over to the main BIOS. Wait, what? Oh. Okay, well, that's cheating. So this BIOS, yeah, so this BIOS already has an overclock on it that's gonna work. Yeah. I don't think, like, I do believe the memory settings are a little bit too tight, though, so this doesn't like posting currently. Okay, so the 12s probably did it in. Yeah, this should be viable. So we're gonna roll with that. And that is very much cheating, but, like... Because, like, technically I'm supposed to be starting from scratch, but, I'll let... you know what? I'll let that slide. And the capture card has decided that it does not like recognizing NVIDIA GPUs. This is the most annoying thing for me with, like, trying to record videos about NVIDIA cards is, like, sometimes the capture card just decides that it's not gonna do NVIDIA GPUs. So... Oh, no. Okay, well, I guess I have to unplug it and plug it back in again. Stupid pile of garbage. So, we're not even going to try running Firestrike. We're just going to get straight to the overclocking. So, we're going to get Afterburner open. Now, I have actually already pre-configured Afterburner to use extended MSI voltage control. Though, I'm not sure if we're going to need that just yet. The first thing I want to do is I want to... No, I don't want auto fan speed. I want max the fan speed. You've activated... Yeah, sure. No. Go away. Power limit, max that. Apply. And now we're just going to use the render test. Because it's running 1391. What voltage are we at? Right. Okay, I'm going to go to 1.2 volts. We're going to start at that. So there's a bit of V-droop on that, so there's load line, like, there's a load line on that. So anyway, now we're going to bump it up. So we're at, well, apparently a lot of these cards do 1500, so we're just going to jump straight to 1500 and hope for the best. That's my plan. And I guess I'm also going to do... Wait, how does this work with the NVIDIA cards? 1830... It's not plus 100, is it? Yeah, no, it isn't. Man, on AMD GPUs, you do plus 100, you get plus 100, and then... Like, I don't normally overclock NVIDIA cards very much, so this is always the... Like, I don't know why they have the weird memory, like, why the memory clock speed is, like, twice actual memory clock, which is just like, well, why? Anyway, that should be fine. That's a very mild GDDR5 memory overclock, and so we're just gonna... Actually, I could cheese this even more by just not running all of it. That's the trick. It's like, you don't run the whole benchmark. You just do GT1, GT2. Also, this card is really quiet, even with the fans maxed. I think most of these do like again, I don't have a ton of experience overclocking NVIDIA GPUs, but as far as I know, most of these should do almost 2 gigahertz memory clock. Which, if the memory is unstable, it'll probably crash graphics test 2, not graphics test 1, just because GT2 is far more memory intensive. And GT1 is more core intensive. So, fun fact, I was actually considering doing this as a like 21-minute or like 20-minute OC challenge, just because I do want to because I did actually repair this GTX 980 Ti Lightning, and I do plan to show you what was wrong with it at the end of the video. Yeah, but before that, and I was like, oh, maybe I could make a sub 30-minute video, and then I had the idea, oh, but I would like to include like CPU overclocking into the GPU overclocking, and then it's like, oh, that's going to take too long. So it just crashed GT1. That is very GT2. Is the memory bad or something? Wait. Why is that at plus 25? Wait. Oh, that's going negative now. Actually, I should verify that. So we're going to close that down. We're going to go back up to like 193. And we're going to just run GT2. Okay, it looks like I nailed it with the 20 minutes, because it looks like the GPU is going to fight me a little bit more than I was expecting. Like, there is a chance that this has some memory chips that really don't play well with overvoltage. I can't remember what memory's on this. Oh, we can check GPU-Z, I guess, once this finishes. I want to say this has Samsung memory, but again, I'm not sure. Okay, so now it passes. That's a bit weird. And no, it's on Hynix memory. Okay, I guess that explains the voltage behavior then. Because there's some memory chips that just really don't scale with voltage, so let's try plus 300. I'm just going to run... yeah, we're just going to run GT2 again. I should have probably... Oh, it's crashing again. Interesting. Runtime error, 3Dmark, pure... Okay. Yeah, that does look like it. There's a small chance that the memory OC on the CPU is unstable, and that's crashing 3Dmark. And I also wanted to check, like, what max temperature... Oh, man, it never went above 47. Yeah, this heatsink's great. Okay, so we're going to try do a full pass, and I'm going to drop the memory clock back down to 200, plus 200, like, well, yeah, plus 219. I'm going to bump the core clock a little bit. Or we're just going to do a full run. Because I think currently it's set up to spit out, like, almost 30,000... Actually, no, not 30,000. I think we should be seeing, like, 27,000, 28,000 points for physics. And GT1, I actually don't know how it's going to score in the GPU tests. I don't overclock 980 Ti's regularly, so I have no idea what's going to happen there. Like, this is basically the second time I've ever overclocked a 980 Ti, and... Okay, it's upset about something. I wonder if the memory on this thing's just bad. We could try bump the core voltage. Like, that was GT1. I think that was the core crashing. Oh, no. I think it's the... Yeah, the whole system just locked up. I think it's the memory overclock. That's why on the wrong BIOS I was setting it up for 4133. Because 4266 on a daisy chain with 4 DIMMs, sketchy. So we're just gonna, actually it is on wait. Oh, it's switched BIOSes again. See, this right here is the main reason why you really, really don't want a Gigabyte motherboard that doesn't have dual BIOS. I mean, doesn't have the switches for dual BIOS controls. And I think the problem is I have my radiator resting on top of the switches, and so, yeah, it's screwing things up. Okay, now we should be back on that 4266 BIOS. Or BIOS version F6B. And it's not posting again. Okay, there we go. I don't think... Yeah, okay, it didn't switch BIOS chips. Good. Man, if it had switched BIOS chips, I would have been so annoyed. Yeah, we're just gonna roll with 16, 17, 30. Like, this isn't as fast as it could be. Actually, we're gonna drop that to 28, 45. This can be lower. 280. Yeah, okay, we're gonna roll that. At least I have, like, so hopefully it was just memory instability that was crashing like main memory instability instead of GPU memory instability. And the RAM is still unstable. I might be pushing the TRC timing a little bit low. Or it's the tertiaries. This is what I get for being like, oh, I'm going to run dual rank for that extra performance per clock. Oh, boy. I really didn't think this one through. Or more like, I really underestimated how difficult it would be to get 4x8 running on this board. That's the bigger problem. Yeah, so now it booted, but like I have very little faith in its stability. So what am I gonna do about that? Try 47. We're gonna go for 30 there. Do 16, and I'm just gonna raise these a smidge. Like that shouldn't cost me too much performance, but yeah, that's gonna cost me performance. But 3Dmark is a GPU test, so I should be relatively okay. Yeah, so now it's far more happy to post. And of course the capture card derps out. And it only does it with NVIDIA cards. Like, that's my least favorite part of this, is like, or more like some NVIDIA cards. It's not even like all NVIDIA cards. It's just some of them and sometimes. And it's just super, super frustrating. Okay, so we're going to set the core voltage back up to 1.2 volts. Let's set the core clock to 20. And I think all the previous crashes weren't actually the GPU. So I'm just going to treat it like it wasn't the GPU. And I'm actually going to run Firestrike this time because I want to score, and we're in the last 10 minutes. So I'm going to let the whole thing run. I was strongly considering pulling out X299 for this, but then I was like, oh, I'd need to rearrange the room for that, and so that didn't happen. Also, like, X299 for Firestrike is like you're really sort of cheesing the CPU score then. And also, I should have put this out of the way so that you can see the frame rate in Firestrike. Okay, so I don't, like, at this point, I don't think it was I don't think it was the CPU crashing that time. I wonder maybe if I'm setting the voltage too high. Like, it might be like my Titan X where, you know, you raise the voltage and it just gets worse. Freaking NVIDIA cards. Man, 8 minutes. I need to run, damn it. Like, at this point, I'm kind of toying with the idea of maybe just running the GPU stock. Because at stock, it runs 1400 core. Okay, that made it worse. That made it way worse. So I'm definitely setting the core voltage way too high. Because, like, it crashed even earlier than before. So definitely way too much volts. And my Titan X does the same thing. Also, the card might not do more than 1500 megahertz core. That's also possible. Which would be very sad because it is a Lightning. And it's not like a Lightning LE, because there was a 980 Ti LE, like 980 Lightning LE, which was like a light edition, which was, as far as I'm aware, like the binning rejects. But this is kind of looking like a binning reject. Again, though, I've not tested that many 980 Ti's. It's just like, and I think, and yeah, so, or more like I've tested a grand total of 2 980 Ti's. This one and somebody else's 980 Ti Kingpin edition. Okay, so this thing is very, very upset right now. Okay, we're going to drop it back down to like plus 92. I want to check what clock speed it's hitting right now. It's hitting 1484. Well, at least, like, if this also clocks like garbage, I'm going to be much less disappointed in my Titan X Maxwell. Because, like, you know, I thought that was really bad when it only did 1430, but this is a freaking Lightning. It could, well, at this point, I really doubt that it's the memory overclock on the CPU. Critical. Or maybe it is. Come on, Windows. I don't have time for this. Okay, so I'm very quickly learning that dual rank was a big, big mistake. Oh, man. Like, none of this is even that aggressive in terms of timing. Except, like, the... Well, no, not even the tertiaries are that aggressive as far as I'm concerned. Like... Well, last 5 minutes, so I'm gonna run the GPU at stock. Or maybe I'm just gonna reset the BIOS for the motherboard and run it that way. Because right now this is looking really bad. Like, the CPU at stock spits out like 25k GPU score, so... Yeah, but now I'm really disappointed. Like, how is it so freaking unstable? Well, I don't know how to reset that back to auto, so we're gonna go plus 92, plus 100, max the fan speed. Like, maybe the memory's getting too hot. Like, I don't currently have a fan on the memory sticks, and they are at like 1.66 volts, so... Yeah, they might be getting a little... And there's 4 of them right next to each other, so yeah, they might actually be getting too hot. That's not entirely impossible. This is how most of my, like, overclocking adventures go, is just like, oh, we're just gonna set up a nice, easy... Well, actually, no. If this was Ryzen, I would have a nice, easy memory overclock. It would be 3800 CL14, and I'd call it a day. And that just works all the time, everywhere. At least for all of my CPUs, that basically always works. Man, Firestrike is such a long benchmark. I don't think, like, there's no way I hit my goal. The GPU's clocked way too low, and the thing is, I definitely over prioritized the CPU. I should have just used the XMP for these sticks. Like, 3600 CL14 in dual rank would have been plenty, and I'd be like, and I would have saved so much time. And instead, I'm like, yeah, good job, me. Good job. The thing is, I know for a fact that these DIMMs will do like 4000 CL14 Geekbench stable at like 1.55 volts. And so I figured, yeah, you know, if we run 4 of them, we could run something like 4133 at some pretty low timings, and it should be pretty damn quick. And easy. I was wrong about the easy part. Well, I guess over time, as I keep doing these OC challenges, I'll like figure out a better methodology to just not waste my time with memory. Or I should have just gone single rank, because this board is really, really strong if you only run two sticks instead of 4. Okay, what score are we getting? Come on, why does it take so long to... Yeah, that's way too low. But we are getting like a nice big GPU, like nice big physics score, and then combined, I guess, is really bad. And I've got a minute. Okay, so we're just gonna go full yeet. As in, I'm gonna set the clocks according to the GPU render test and hope for the best. Oh no. And we're gonna go to like 1.23 volts. What is that? That's 1930 on the memory. I want like 1950. 1950. come on. Okay, that's like, okay, we're gonna do plus 361, and for the core, running 1480. Okay, so we're gonna run... I don't think that's gonna fix it, though. Like, I don't think that's gonna fix the score. Well, yeah, Firestrike takes way too long to run, so if this crashes, this is it. Man, I've really failed. I was really thinking the CPU would carry it quite hard, but instead the CPU just ended wasting my time. Yeah, time's up. The thing is, I'm no longer overclocking the system. It's just running the benchmark, so this is fine. And it's not running the benchmark. Oh, that was a fail. Oh, man. So my best result, which, wait, date modified, that would be, yeah. So that was the... I think this is the last one, right? Oh, no, that's the 0. Okay, so then we want the 272. Yeah, that's a massive fail. That is such a massive fail. Yeah, so I'm like 1,500 points short of my target. Well, I guess let's take a look at what was actually wrong with the GPU and how I repaired it, because at least that was really easy. Unlike trying to do 21k Firestrike. On a architecture that I have 0 experience with, you know, and it's like, I don't really bench NVIDIA very much, so it's just like, this is basically worst case scenario for me. Oh, to be fair, actually, just GPU overclocking, like, well, on the AMD side, it's like, technically I have more tricks up my sleeve for overclocking like a 290X, but it also just means it takes more time. So, yeah, wait a minute. Studio mode. Ta-da! So here we are on the desk. And so here's the card. And let me just set this up so I can see what you guys can see. And let's go. Zoom in. And so basically, what you can see right there is what killed the, like, so when I got the card, it wouldn't have any display output. And I think it was missing like a bunch of voltage rails. And it turns out the reason behind that was this corner of the PCB right here was well, it still is snapped off. And there's a trace that runs through that spot, which is a 3.3 volt, which goes all the way over to the other end of the card. And it goes from a 3.3 volt regulator that's over here, which I don't know why that regulator is over here, because when this trace was snapped, that regulator was spitting out 3.9 volts, which basically indicates that it was completely unloaded. And so, yeah, but anyway, once I bridged this over and then glued the, like, basically there's just a little bit of wire and some glue, fixing up that trace, and now the card runs. So yeah, that's why there's no big long, like, that's why there's no real, like, oh, I repaired this card type video, because, like, the funny thing is I spent a whole bunch of time troubleshooting this thing, and then while I was trying to, like, really confused about why it doesn't work, I noticed, like, wait a minute, there's like a nick in the PCB over there, and then I'm like, oh, that's why it's not running. There's literally not, like, 3.3 volts is literally not connected to the other end of the card. So, yeah, that was kind of disappointing, to say the least, when I realized that I'd been, like, probing the crap out of the PCB for no reason, when it was just like, Buildzoid, you should just use your eyes instead of using the multimeter, and maybe, you know, notice the fact that there's a bit of the PCB chipped off. But yeah, so it was a really easy fix. Also, I really, like what MSI, well, yeah, I do really like what MSI did here with the heatsink, like OC. So yeah, this is like the last proper lightning. After this one, the lightnings are very disappointing in my opinion. With the 2080 Ti Lightning being the most disappointing of the lightnings. But yeah, so this one still has like dual BIOS, voltage read points. I don't know what that extra header is for. I think that's probably for some internal tool that like only MSI has. But yeah, so that's the 980 Ti Lightning. Turns out I really suck at overclocking Maxwell cards. I mean, so I need to play with this some more. Like I really, like I'm probably gonna put some time. Like I still want to get 21K. Like I really don't think it's, well, it shouldn't be impossible, but we'll see. I guess we'll see. So anyway, yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave any comments, questions, suggestions down in the comment section below. If you'd like to support what I do here with actually hardcore overclocking, I have a Patreon. There's a link to that down in the description below. And then there's also the HOC Teespring store where you can pick up shirts, stickers, posters, you know, the usual YouTuber merch. And yeah, both of those help out immensely with running the channel. They allow me to do things like, well, repair random 980 Ti's that I find on eBay. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.